What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about NASCAR 21, the marketing, how it is starting to really fizzle, and do a little speculation on what's happening. So just to start off, I was pretty excited at first when Motorsport Games started dropping these teasers. They just, according to this, 8 minutes ago, just dropped another teaser. Let's take a quick look at this. Another photo. This is at the Brickyard. Looks good. I mean, at this point, I have to agree with people that are getting a little bit uh, upset. I wouldn't go that far for me, but I understand why people are getting frustrated. People. I said that the early part of the marketing is the appetizer, right? The teasers. And now it's feeling like, you know what? They gave us a bunch of they gave us appetizers, and the waitress is now coming by for like the third time, putting more bread and salad on the table, and you're like, where's the fucking main course? I came here for the steak. The appetizer was okay, but I'm ready to eat. What's going on? And we don't know what's going on, and that's the problem. So there's a few things that I want to talk about concerning NASCAR 21 and why this is a problem now. First of all, people are getting antsy, and what do you expect? People are human. When they don't get information, they're always going to lean towards the most negative stuff, right? When your mind is left to wander, it naturally is going to wander towards a negative side. So people are going to start asking like, what's going on? What are they hiding? Where's the release date? When is why is there no gameplay footage? Why is there no trailer? Because you started off nicely, but like I said, we're sitting around, we're waiting for the main course, and we're like, enough with the appetizers. They just dropped this, and it's like, it almost feels like they're just messing with people at this point. The problem for me isn't so much these teasers, but it's the timing of everything. Timing, when it comes to marketing, timing is everything. And I've always said, I prefer that these guys wait till they're much closer to a release date before they start giving you information. I hate when developers reveal things about a game and then you sit around for months and months and there's nothing. To me, it kind of wastes the excitement that you built up in the beginning. So when they first started dropping these teasers, it was fine. It got me excited. It made me look forward to what's next. But here we are. They just dropped this. But before this, it's like we hit this dead period of no news, no information. And the big issue for me is timing. At first, everything seemed to be going fine. I support it 100%. And then we realize we don't really have a release date. We've all, including myself, have assumed that the game is coming out in September. That is right around the corner. So for me, that's why I felt good about the marketing. I'm like, okay, the game is coming out soon. They're going to go from the appetizer. We're going to get a release date. We're going to get gameplay footage. We're going to get a trailer. Things are rolling along nicely without a lot of in between dead space. But ever since the initial appetizer round, there's really nothing. And the truth is, this September date is based on a financial report saying that the game was going to release in the third quarter or at the end of the third quarter. Here's another problem. We're assuming that the end of the third quarter means September. When you look at a calendar year, it makes sense. But what if this is really more of a fiscal year thing? A fiscal year and a calendar year are two different things. So, a calendar year is universal. It's from January to December. For everybody, it's the same. But a fiscal year, when it comes to business, it could be any time of the year. It's just a beginning point and then 12 months later. That's what a fiscal year is. So let's say a fiscal year for motorsport games could be from April to March of 2022. That would put the end of the third quarter for them at Christmas. So we don't know. That's the whole problem here. So everything I'm talking about is just speculation, right? I'm just giving you different scenarios about what may or may not be happening. I'm not saying that any of this is what's going on. It still may be a September release, but we don't know. And the reason we don't know is because nobody at Motorsport Games has confirmed an official release date yet. So this is the problem with not when you start revealing or start your marketing, but you leave dead space, and then there's no information in between. That's not good for marketing, because now all of these teasers, they're just making people more antsy and make them question what's going on that much more. People are going to look at this and say, why are they not showing us gameplay? Where's the trailer? Why don't they announce a release date yet? What are they hiding? You see where I'm going with this? When you leave people to their own devices with no information, it's always going to lean towards negative. Nobody's going to take that and say, man, this must mean something really good. They're going to assume the worst. That doesn't mean the worst is going to be the case, but that's what they're going to naturally assume. So my issue is they started off nicely. I thought this was all headed towards that September release. So I said, okay, the timing's great. The release date is right around the corner. I got no problems. But then we have this dead space with no information. And then you have to start asking yourself, well, they haven't officially confirmed any release date. We don't know if this game is really coming out in September or not. It could come out in October, November, Christmas. We don't really know. It hasn't been confirmed yet. And until they confirm it, we don't know. It's all been speculation up to this point. So, based on that speculation, I looked at it like, okay, the marketing is doing as it should. It's getting people excited. And the game is coming out in September. Anytime now, we're going to get gameplay footage, trailer, and details about the game. Hasn't happened. In fact, we hit this sort of dead space until 10 minutes ago, right? According to this, they just dropped another teaser, which I guarantee you, most people are going to look at it negatively. They're not going to be excited about this anymore because it's like, okay, enough with the appetizer. Why are you trying to fill me up on appetizer? What's wrong with the fucking meal? In fact, why hasn't the waitress come back to see how I'm doing and to reassure me that, hey, the food's coming. It'll be out in any minute now. Nothing. So what started off as a positive to me is now leaning more and more towards a big question mark. So speaking of potential release date, it could be anytime. The only thing they've said actually mentioned is coming soon. Coming soon could mean anything, right? So this is a problem, and this is why people in the community are starting to get panicky. I'm not panicking yet, right? I don't want people to think I'm super negative or anything like that. I'm just asking a question like, what's going on? You started with these teasers, and now it's like, okay, here we have another teaser. What's going on? Are you just going to do this for another month? Why aren't we getting real information? So, like I said, maybe this game isn't coming out in September, right? I'm just speculating here. What if? And if this game is coming out later, then maybe they did start the marketing a little too early, which is what I don't like. I don't want this dead space in between because all of this excitement that you started building early in the first week or two, it's just fading away. Now people look at these, they're not looking at this anymore and saying, "Oh man, look how awesome this looks," and "Oh wow, look, it's so impressive." Now it's like, okay, enough with this. Like, can we see actual gameplay footage? Can we get a fucking release date? When is this game coming out? Maybe if people had a release date, then they could kind of relax a bit and say, okay, the game's coming in, let's say, October. Okay, there's still some time, let's see. Another thing, somebody did post in the comment section of my last video somewhere that Sports Gamers Online, SGO, it's a website, is supposed to be doing an article on NASCAR 21, and they're supposed to be revealing all kinds of information on the game. And I looked around everywhere. I have not been able to confirm if that's actually going to happen. So I'm asking you guys, does anybody know? Supposedly somebody saw that on Reddit. So I didn't comb Reddit. I did take a quick browse, but I didn't comb through everything to try to find some information. But I don't know. I don't know anything about that. So yeah, we don't really have a firm release date. We've assumed it's September based on a financial report. And until Motorsport Games actually confirms a release date, we don't know when this game is coming out. Now, I think most people would prefer a NASCAR game, to come out just before the start of a season. But you know, we want that, but that doesn't always jive with the business side of things, right? For many reasons, maybe they just can't do it for some reason or another. At least not with the first game. They do have to appease shareholders. They have certain obligations to meet, and maybe late third quarter of this year, that's their those are their projected. You have your projected earnings, all this Wall Street jargon. It's an openly traded public company now. This isn't just a private company who can do whatever they want. So they have to appease shareholders. They have obligations. So there's a lot there to chew on, to just wonder about. And we just don't have enough information to really understand what's happening. All we can do is hope that Motorsport Games knows what they're doing. I don't want this dead space in between. I just don't think that's good marketing. I, you know, if the game was coming out later, you should have started these teasers later. You started this, and then there's now we just have this dead space filled with negativity from the public. They're not looking at these screenshots anymore and saying, I'm so pumped up. Now they're like, again with this? Can we get some gameplay? What are you hiding? This is what you see everywhere. Let's see how positive. I mean, you got a good amount of likes in 10 minutes, but all right, hold on. I got the notification and thought it was finally gameplay. I am depressed. There you go. Same here, but already knew it would be more screenshots. Can we have the release date? Around September. Well, has not been, I'm sorry to say, that's not official yet. It might be, but nobody has confirmed it yet. Now I have to question. We aren't asking for much. Confirmed next month release and gameplay trailer. Farmers, bum, 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 bum. All right, I don't know what that means. But yeah, I have to concur. What's going on? When you leave a dead space in the marketing, it only creates negativity. People are going to start to wonder, what are they hiding? Is maybe the game isn't as good as we think it's going to be? And They haven't actually done anything on purpose to just like overhype the game. But the fact that you release these screenshots and then you just don't reveal nothing else, what do you think people are going to do? Well, I mean, people are human. It's a human reaction to lean towards something negative. People aren't going to wonder and say, "Man, this must mean this is going to be really good." They're going to assume the worst. So that's why this is not good marketing. I thought it was good marketing at first based on a September release, which was never confirmed. And it should have been followed up with main course. This appetizer stuff is not working anymore. People don't want this anymore. They want something concrete. Release date, gameplay footage, a trailer, something, right? I don't particularly care about game trailers. They never really give you a great idea of what this game is really going to be like. Game trailers are very just, it's pure fluff. You know, you get these over stylized trailers with all this music and all these wrecks. It's just eye candy. It doesn't really give you a good representation of what a game is really going to be like. So I personally would like to see some gameplay footage to give us some fucking details about the layout of the game and a release date so we know this is when the game's coming out. Now I can judge the marketing based on the release date. Right now, I don't know anymore. You shouldn't have dead space. What I would do if I have the release date here, I would have started 2.5 to 3 months before the release date. Start with some appetizer teasers, and then from there go into details, gameplay footage, a trailer, and release date, that kind of stuff. And then you're close enough to a release of a game where that enthusiasm for the game and the marketing, it keeps people interested. If you do it too soon, the enthusiasm dies out, and then really the marketing kind of loses all of its effectiveness. What's the point? And if you wait too late, it also has a similar thing. It's like, if this game really is coming out in September, what the fuck are they waiting for? I mean, they are cutting it close. So either way, it's not a good thing. The marketing has to be timed just right. So if this game is coming out in September, right now we should be getting details, some gameplay footage, and a release date. But we don't know any of that. And they haven't confirmed the release date. So what are we supposed to think? I'm sorry, this is not cutting it anymore. And I was excited. And I do like the screenshots, but we've seen where, I mean, how many times do we see screenshots that don't accurately represent how a game's even going to look in the game? I want to give these guys the benefit of the doubt, and I don't want to assume the worst. But this is what happens when you start people in a direction with the marketing, and then you just, that's it. You don't do anything else. This is dead space. This is not good. So I have to call it out, and I have to start agreeing with people that are kind of concerned about the game. I don't blame them at all. If you don't actually give people confirmation about certain things, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to assume something negative. And you're going to see people say, what are they hiding? I bet this game is probably garbage. And they're just hyping it up. And you don't want to be compared to NASCAR Heat, even though this is where the tweets are coming from. That's not good either. So you want to leave this behind at this point. I understand this is under the motorsports umbrella, but they're tired of NASCAR Heat. We don't want any association with that anymore. We want to leave that in the past. You want people to look to the future, to something new, get away from this, and you got to reveal something soon. Now, maybe this week we get that article that somebody said was coming from Sports Gamers Online, if it's accurate, or whoever it is. It could be Traxion or Operation Sports, right? Usually that's where this stuff comes from. Maybe we get that very soon. And maybe all of this negativity will die off. But until that happens, what are we supposed to think? So this is not good. And I'm not panicking yet, but I have to say, I totally understand why people are getting upset. So, yeah, you know what? Those are my thoughts. Um, we have no idea of a release date. Like it has not been confirmed. Now, I will say this. What if here's the other thing I wanted to, hold on a second. I almost forgot. Let's look at something else. Here's something else that made me scratch my head. Give me a second. Allied Esports. Oh, come on, man. Disable my ad blocker. All right. Fucking hate this shit. Once, continue to site. Okay. Allied Esports NASCAR announced gaming truck event tour. Allied Esports, a global esports entertainment company and subsidiary of Allied Esports Entertainment Incorporated, and NASCAR today announced an event tour that will bring gaming activations to racing fans in 2021. The Allied Esports truck, North America's first and only 18-wheel gaming truck, will make 7 stops at NASCAR Cup Series race midways and fan zones starting August 6th through the 8th. Just started now at Watkins Glen and concluding November 7th. Okay? Now here's the part where it started making me scratch my head a bit and wonder about what's really happening. The 80-foot, 35-ton mobile gaming arena, which includes a main stage, caster booth, roof deck, and full production capabilities, will host gameplay featuring Rocket League, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, as well as iRacing on simulators. Participating fans will have the chance to play for prizes and giveaways through each weekend activation. On select dates, fans will also have the first opportunity to get their hands on a limited demo of the new NASCAR 21 video game from Motorsports Games. The integration of gaming, blah, 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 blah. Hold on a second. It really doesn't say anything else, but it does say to get their hands on a limited demo of the new NASCAR 21 video game from Motorsport Games. Now, let's look at the dates all the way to November 4th through 7th at Phoenix. It doesn't make sense to me that they would be giving people a hands-on of a limited demo of NASCAR 21 all the way in November, the first week of November. If this game is supposed to come out in September, why would you be doing this all the way into November? Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't happen where they're still promoting the game after it's been released. That's totally possible, but I do find it odd. It's like this is what you would expect to see leading up to a release, to before a game is released. You're to as a promotion. If the game is being released in September, it just doesn't make sense to me that they're still doing a limited demo reveal to people and all the way up to the first week of November. So what does this mean? It could mean that the release is not till after the first week of November. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying you see how the mind works when you don't have information. We don't know a release date, so what's to say that people won't look at this and say, well, you're going to have these limited demos all the way up to the first week of November, but if the game is coming out in September, what's the point? this is what happens when people don't have information. You started this marketing and then you left this dead space, and this is what we see. Why would you still be giving people access to a limited demo of the game all the way into the first week of November if this game is coming out in September? If the game was coming out in mid to late November, this makes total sense. Again, just the way I'm just giving you guys an example of how many different directions speculation can go. They might come out this week, next week, with information, a release date, and everything, and all of this is moot. But until then, this is what happens when you're not careful with the marketing. When you start teasing people with the appetizers and just getting people pumped up, you have to follow it with real information. You don't start teasing people and then you just leave this dead space. This is why I hate when developers release information too soon, because you get them all excited and then you have all this time go by with no information, and all that excitement that you created at first, it's gone. It's wasted. What's the point if you don't roll it over into to the main course of the marketing leading up to a release date? That's how you maximize the marketing. I'm not an expert in marketing, but I'm just a consumer. This is the way I'm looking at it. I was excited, and now I'm not as excited. I'm wondering what the hell all of this means. I don't know. So, those are pretty much my thoughts at the moment. This is all just speculation, and I hate to see it because I see so many people disappointed, and the marketing is starting to backfire. You Timing is everything, and it doesn't sound good to me unless, like I said, if they come out this week and they say, okay, the game's coming out at the end of September, and here's some gameplay footage at least, or something, some real information, main course stuff, then people would get pumped up again. And then they're like, okay, the game is right around the corner, 1 month away. That's how you do it. But if that doesn't happen and it just, from what I see, this dead space, I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Can anybody confirm if anything about that Sports Gamers article? If you heard anything, somebody did post something that they heard on a podcast or something, that they were supposed to be doing a whole article with real information and everything. And at the time the person posted it, that was like a week and a half ago. Whenever it was, I released that video, my last one. And now, it's like, okay, and still nothing. So, yeah, I mean, if we get any more information, anything worth talking about, I'll do another video then. Until then, I look forward to your comments later.